As you know, democracy has long been spreading around the world. Democracy makes everyone equal and free. Democracy, from modern Greek, means people's rule, a political system based on collective decision-making. Its core values are legality, political and social equality, freedom, and human rights. So, we live in a very democratic world, where the population elects its leaders through direct or indirect voting the person who will lead the entire nation. On January 30th, President Hindenburg appointed Hitler as Reich Chancellor. After that, Hitler announced the dissolution of parliament and called for early elections. As a result, the National Socialist German Workers' Party won the elections, receiving almost 44%. In fact, Hitler's party was chosen by the majority of the German people chosen under democratic rules. But when real democracy arrives, it always brings newspeak. Newspeak is constructed so that its words can easily express the meanings allowed by ideology. To achieve this, words with undesirable meanings are removed. The National Socialist German Workers' Party came to power and brought not only slogans, but also essential newspeak. For example, how to name a law that prohibits hiring people of a certain nationality. Since the ruling party came to power democratically, and democracy is about social equality, all residents should be treated equally regardless of race, religion, or background. You can't call the law quota restrictions for Jews. Instead, it was called the Law for the Restoration of the Professional Civil Service. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? It sounds positive and national, the beauty of newspeak. But in reality, this law stripped Jewish citizens of their rights. The law fired all non-Aryan officials. Non-Aryan meant anyone with even one Jewish ancestor. On September 15, 1935, another document of newspeak appeared, the Nuremberg race laws. According to these laws, Jews were deprived of German citizenship. Mixed marriages were prohibited. Another beautiful newspeak word emerged: Aryanization, the transfer of property to those of German descent. So in 1933, as a result of a nationwide democratic vote, a certain part of the population was stripped of rights. Jews had lived on German lands for centuries. They spoke Yiddish, worked in crafts, trade, and industry. They were an integral part of German society. Yiddish, they say, was the root of many languages. Jews are the indigenous people of Central Europe. But in 1933, they were deprived of all rights. Right to work, right to own property, right to have a passport. Areas of compact Jewish residence were called ghettos. To leave the ghetto, a special document was needed. At first, Jews could leave their neighborhoods relatively freely. Then they were banned from leaving. Then they were banned from working. Then they were sent to special camps. That was almost 100 years ago. It's told in every history textbook. But segregation never disappeared. There is a wonderful democratic country. Russian-speaking liberals praise it. It's wealthy and democratic. Most importantly, it never attacks its neighbors. People of another nationality and religion came to the Semitic land to cultivate it. They turned the desert into blooming fields, built factories, and called it the State of Israel. Everything was good in Israel except one small thing. There were too many Arabs who called themselves Palestinians. The name makes sense. Those lands were called Palestine until the mid-20th century and were inhabited by Arabs. When Hitler came to power in Germany, he deprived Jews of jobs, passports, homes. That was the largest genocide in human history. It left no one indifferent. So we have the Jewish people and Jewish rulers. Every nation has its pros and cons. But Jewish rulers, let's just say they interpret things like democracy and human rights very unusually. For them, war means entering a neighboring district and leveling it to the ground, then calling it just retribution for what they provoked themselves. Israeli leaders gave money and rights to Hamas, who then launched rockets at Israel. And now Israel is punishing the entire Palestinian people for what 3,000 militants did. They developed the land, built factories, took resources, but didn't accept the people who lived there before. They didn't hire them, they brought back newspeak. What Hitler called ghettos, they called Gaza Strip. The word ghetto sounds dirty, a fenced-off place where people live based on race or ethnicity. The Gaza Strip is a place where people of one nationality live. It's a ghetto, all fenced in. Gaza residents have no passports. Palestinians have been denied passports since 2011. They can't leave, even if they wanted to. Like Jews in German ghettos, some were allowed to work in Israel until October 7, 2023. That day, Hamas attacked civilians. In response, 1 million Palestinians lost their jobs. Now Gaza lies in ruins. Children are starving. But no one plans to give Palestinians the right to work. Israel is so democratic and just that it punishes 1 million for the actions of 3,000. Just like Hitler punished all Jews because of a few Jewish bankers in London. Now Israel has cut electricity to Gaza. There are ruins. People live among rubble, demolished homes, no electricity. Just like Hitler did when he cut off food and coal supplies to Polish ghettos. Today, Netanyahu acts on Hamas by cutting off water and power from women and children, hoping that the mythical Hamas in Cairo will surrender. If not, we'll bomb again, just for the record. We'll call it something beautiful. Operation Garden Ruin. That's all. Watch my channel.